This will be your only warning.
Hi.
Hi.
My name is Brandon, and welcome to another spoiler review for the series finale of WandaVision. You know the drill by now. I'm here to give you some insight into this week's episode, as well as my overall thoughts, any Easter eggs I might have caught, and a couple of comic book references.
But Brandon, I thought Mephisto was supposed to show up. Where's Doctor Strange? How does this connect to the multiverse?
Listen, to be fair,
fair,
Marvel or Kevin Feige never specifically stated that those things would appear in this show. So I don't know who started those rumors.
I don't know who said that.
But at the end of the day, the show is about Wanda and her mental psyche and coming to terms with her grief. And don't worry, I won't even mention he who must not be named.
We do not speak his name.
Well, aside from just mentioning him, but that's all. Picking up right where we left off at the end of last episode, Agatha is threatening the lives of Wanda's children in order to gain access to her abilities, using her magic to hold on to them with what appears to resemble puppet strings, which is actually kind of funny because originally the twins were sort of puppets as they were pieces of... Not gonna say his name, but you get the idea. Wanda is able to knock back Agatha from holding on to her children, but it's exactly what she wants. She wants Wanda to use her powers so that she can drain her of her life essence, very similar to what she did with the Coven 400 years earlier. She is trying to obtain Wanda's powers in order to become the mythological Scarlet Witch. But Wanda throws a car at her, which is the first of many callbacks to Wanda's abilities in the past. First the car, which is what she did to Iron Man in Captain America Civil War, and later she uses her mental manipulation powers very similar to how we first saw Wanda in Avengers Age of Ultron. And after the fact, Wanda goes to check and make sure that that move was a knockout, only to find a pair of empty boots underneath the rubble. And since this episode is Wanda in the terrible, no good, very miserable day, White Vision shows up to apprehend her, which is his programming objective, tricking Wanda into thinking that it's the real Vision that she once knew, but instead he's completely wiped of all the memories that he once had, which of course is thanks to Sword reprogramming his conscience. This is all very similar to when Vision reappeared as the White Vision in the West Coast Avengers storyline, where Wanda thinks that it's the same Vision that she once knew, but it appears he's been wiped clean of any emotion that he once had. But thankfully, before White Vision is able to pull a mountain on Wanda, you know, like when the mountain crushed Prince Oberyn's head. Wanda's Hex Vision shows up to save the day, leading us to a very exciting fight between the two Visions, which I guess clarifies that big cameo that Paul Bettany was hinting at this entire time. It's himself. He was talking about himself. That sneaky son of a bitch.
I'm not amused.
While Paul Bettany was probably trolling us with this big cameo where he had fireworks with this actor and they had amazing chemistry together, Elizabeth Olsen was most likely referring to Evan Peters showing up as Quicksilver, as a quote-unquote Luke Skywalker-level cameo. Alright, Lizzie, if you say so. And while Vision goes off to fight Vision, Wanda flies off to fight Agatha, leaving the boys at home alone, which had me thinking that when Sword came knocking on the Hex's door, the boys would have to adapt to the Macaulay Culkin role and create some preventative measures for them getting in.
This is it. Don't get scared now.
But alas, when Wanda catches up to Agatha, it's revealed that that book she had in her possession was the Darkhold all along. The Book of the Damned, or more commonly known as the Book of Sins. Originally written by the elder god Chthon, who at one time was responsible for giving Wanda her chaos magic. So this reveal of the book being the Darkhold just shows us that there is way more to Wanda's story than we've been shown. And that Agatha says that the Scarlet Witch is more powerful than the Sorcerer Supreme himself, which is hinted at even heavier in the post-credit scene, showing Wanda studying the Darkhold, possibly setting Wanda up to be a main villain moving forward. The second post-credit scene does show us that Wanda has taken refuge in a remote cabin, probably someplace in Sokovia, with what appears to be runes painted on the walls. And she's using a trick that she must have learned or inhabited from Doctor Strange, projecting herself into the astral plane as a means to read the Darkhold, while simultaneously keeping a watch for intruders and drinking her tea. And like I said, either Doctor Strange taught her how to do that, or he's gonna be damn pissed when he finds out that she has the Darkhold. Quite possibly one of the missing books that we saw in the library at Kamar-Taj. And if you listen very closely to the music that's playing during this after credit scene, final strong indicator that this is the setup that we needed that will lead us into Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. You know, aside from an appearance by the Doctor himself. It's clear he won't be the only one that's pissed either. Once Agatha removed the mental restrictions on the townspeople, it enlightens Wanda on the true damage that she's been causing in this town, which reveals to us that Dottie isn't who we thought she was. Another theory down the drain.
Yeah, well, what else is new?
And when they begin to swarm her, she's overwhelmed by theirs and her own grief, thus losing control of her abilities once again. She can't control her chaos, and the only way to let them leave is to bring down the barrier. But in turn, that would require her letting go of Vision and her children, something she has worked this hard to obtain. And bringing down the barrier allows Hayward and the Sword Crew to enter the Hex. Well, everybody except for Jimmy. Poor Jimmy. And assuming everybody made it out of the Hex when they had the chance, she closes the barrier to save her family, giving us a pretty incredible moment. See what I did there? This leads us to our final showdowns. Vision on Vision, Wanda on Agatha, twins versus the military, and Monica versus Pietro. Or should I now say Ralph? Remember what I said last week about lowering your expectations? This is kind of what I had in mind. But if fake Pietro was simply just Agatha's husband Ralph, or maybe a Westview resident named Ralph Boner. That doesn't explain how he's able to move at the level of speed of Quicksilver. Hex magic or not, he still has abilities. And everyone was still confused on his arrival, which makes me think that there is still more to be revealed. Maybe that's just me hoping. We'll see.
What is my purpose?
You make dick joke.
Oh my god.
Yeah, welcome to the club, pal.
Hayward. Just when I think you aren't as bad as you seem, you shoot children. Thankfully, Monica was there to convert her body into a kinetic energy matching that of the bullets. And Hayward keeps firing.
Get him out of here.
Get him out of here! Get the out of my room!
I take everything I said last week giving Hayward any sort of credit and I throw it in the trash.
Have fun in prison.
While everything surrounding them seems to be blowing up and guns are firing, leave it to the two Visions to resolve their matters with a sophisticated, democratized debate. I mean, Paul wasn't joking when he said that he and this actor he got to work with had amazing chemistry together. Oh, they sure do.
Yeah, alright, be good, yeah. Hey.
What happened?
Oh, nothing, we just shot the shit. He's just a really nice guy. We're gonna get brunch next week. We actually have a lot in common.
And once Vision replants Vision's memories, he bounces. Where do you think you're going, mister?
Bye, bitch.
Which leads us to the final showdown between Wanda and Agatha, giving us another callback to Avengers Age of Ultron with Wanda using her mental manipulation powers to send Agatha back to the Salem witch trials. But then Agatha switches the roles again. It's kind of hard to keep up who's winning at this point. But this time the Undead Coven puts Wanda on trial, which reveals her magical crown, very similar to Agatha's mother's crown that we saw last episode. And when Wanda is able to break free, she reverses the roles yet again, using what Agatha taught her about placing runes on the House of the Witch to trick Agatha into giving her her powers, in revealing Wanda's vision to finally come true. She has finally accepted the role of the Scarlet Witch. First time that we've seen the comic-accurate version of the Scarlet Witch in the MCU, giving me nerd chills all over. I also love that her new outfit seems to take inspiration from Vision's crest, but with the realization of her reaching her full potential means having to bring the barrier down. And as Agatha states, we'll have repercussions moving forward. But what those repercussions are remains to be seen. Something we will probably see in Spider-Man No Way Home and Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. But in order to reach that point, she has to say goodbye to her reality that she's created. She has to say goodbye to her kids and to say goodbye to Vision for a second time.
There's 3, actually.
Giving us a very sad farewell, very similar to a sitcom series finale. Saying goodbye to this reality that she's created and leaving Westview. Leaving Sword to clean up the mess, with Jimmy seemingly in charge now, seeing as how Hayward is being arrested for violating the Sokovia Accords and Vision's last will and testament.
But that's in direct violation of Section 36B of the Sokovia Accords.
And the Vision's own living will.
He didn't want to be anybody's weapon.
But as for Monica, she's called upon for another mission, with an FBI agent revealing herself to be a Skrull, and saying that a friend of her mother's would like to see her. That friend most likely being Nick Fury up in space on the Skrull ship, which I'm speculating is the Peak, the real Sword's main headquarters. But that's it. Everything's wrapped up nicely, neat with a bow. We got an open and closed story that fits neatly in the context of the MCU, as well as leaving room to grow for other properties like Secret Invasion and Captain Marvel 2. But wait a second, what happened to Jimmy's perp? The one that was in the witness protection program.
I've got a witness set up down the road in Westview, and this morning it looked like he flew the coop.
Your missing person is in the witness protection program.
I have contacted known associates, relatives.
And let me guess, none of them have seen him either.
No, none of them have ever heard of him.
I keep having this nagging feeling that I've forgotten something.
Hey, if you forgot it, it probably wasn't all that important.
Yeah, I guess.
If you liked hearing me talk about WandaVision this season, be sure to subscribe. I'll be putting out review videos like this for all the Marvel shows moving forward, like Falcon and the Winter Soldier when it drops in a couple of weeks. And instead of taking a week off next week, I'll be putting out a series review video for WandaVision, giving my more personal thoughts and feelings on the show. If you'd like, follow me on Twitter. Come yell at me over there about WandaVision, and give me some of your thoughts and speculations about what you think is going to happen in Spider-Man No Way Home and Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. You can also comment below your thoughts. And last but not least, be sure to follow me on twitch.tv/BoxTheWise. Gonna be playing some video games here soon. I gotta get my computer fixed, but in the meantime, you can come give me a follow to prepare yourself. If all of the Marvel shows moving forward are the same level of quality as WandaVision, I think we're in for a good year. But I will miss WandaVision for the beautiful artistic trip that it was. Damn. It's over. God, forgive me. Goodbye.
Thanks a lot. Bye.